143 first.
How y'all doing?
Questlove, everybody, congratulations. Such a well-deserved win. Kate Schrader with Access Hollywood over here. You got emotional in your speech, Quest, when you were talking about your family, but also inside the room it was a little controversial, a little bit of a setup there. So what was the mood going into giving your acceptance speech?
I'm not talking about that. Like, this is about the Harlem Cultural Festival. But, you know, we're very happy right now to accept this award on behalf of Hal Tolshin and Tony Lawrence. This is the story of two gentlemen with a dream who wanted to heal a nation that was hurting with a concert festival. And, you know, we are very fortunate enough to be the bridge to carry this denied moment for the last 50 years to the end zone. And I couldn't be happier right now for two gentlemen with a dream and to see their dream come true.
Thank you. I caution you to not ask questions referring to anything else in the show other than the current winners on the stage.
Thank you.
227 is next, followed by 199.
Hello, over here.
Hi.
Congratulations to you,
Thank you. Thank you.
all of you. One thing about you, your love of music, it is abundant. And this documentary certainly showed that. How do you know, and you can all answer, but how do you know when you need to stay on something as opposed to give up the ghost when it's not working?
You know, this film has seen a lot of, I guess, iterations. Like, you know, first it started out as straight performance. But then something happened in the pandemic. One, you know, we had a lot of time on our hands in silence. And, you know, often when parents or people come up to me in airports like, can you give my kids some advice? Like, what advice do you want to give? And I used to always say, like, embrace boredom and silence. So, I mean, the fact that I personally spent a greater part of 2020 in a farm where there was nothing but ducks and chickens to talk to me, I think that just put me in a different mind state. And one of the mind states that I was in was just, it's not enough just to give you guys the music without the context of the music. And so a lot of the what we call the super editing to the great, from our great editor, Josh Pearson, was that we wanted to explain to people what was happening. And not to mention, around April of 2020, things that were happening in 1968 and 1969 were starting to mirror 2020. And so the irony wasn't lost on us that we have a brand new film on our hands, and we went with it.
All right, 199 followed by 171.
Hi guys, we're over here, Matt Donnelly from Variety Quest. Philadelphia is proud of you. I want to say, you know, a year ago, January in 2021, when this film sold out of Sundance, you guys were the benefit or the beneficiary of a really sort of interesting platform release between Searchlight and Hulu. So you got your prestige theatrical rollout and obviously access to tens of millions of subscribers, which I think gave Summer of Soul a lot of wind under its sails. But in any other year, in a non-pandemic year, how do you think this movie would have rolled out? And do you have a preference of how these stories reach anybody?
You know, I haven't even thought of a revisionist version or an alternative timeline. I do know that time was the common factor of this entire journey, from the 50-year lead up to this finally, you know, getting the green light, to the fact that we started a lot of our work March 16th, 2020. And, you know, there were moments where I felt like, well, maybe we'll come back in the 55th anniversary or in the 60th anniversary, or like this is ruined or whatever. But for me, I've never once thought about, you know, if this were an alternative timeline, like would this moment have happened? I think this was supposed to happen. And yeah, and I do think about, you know, the detriment of the lessons we had to learn in the last 2 years. But I, for one, spent my pandemic learning and growing as a human, as we all did, as creatives and as human beings.
I just want to touch on that too. I think we were supported by a really great company or companies in respect to Searchlight and Onyx and Hulu that really thought on their feet. You know, we were in the middle of a pandemic. Our Sundance Film Festival, a premiere, was canceled. It ended up as a virtual premiere, and when it was ultimately acquired by those companies, they really thought outside of the box, and they said, you know, this is important to put into the theaters, assuming we have that ability to do it. And they did, and it was in 700 plus screens. 2 weeks later, it was on Hulu, and, you know, a few weeks ago, it aired on ABC. So it's really an amazing group of teams behind us who've been there since day one, and we couldn't have had better partners.
And I'll just add, you know, we actually intended this film to be viewed communally, right? It's an experiential film. It was very intentional to put people, the audience, in the festival. And I think that whether that communal experience comes in the theater or at home, or 15 kids surrounding a phone, or Amir checking rough cuts on his iPhone, like, it just, you know, I think that was the intention, and I think you see and feel that in the film.
All right, 171 followed by 161.
Hi, Stephanie Holland from The Root.
Hey.
I was wondering if you could speak to how important a film like this that celebrates Black history and culture is right now, while our culture is under attack.
You know, we've always maintained that, even though most will see this as, you know, Black history film, we also need to start reframing that Black history is American history, and to let people know that, you know, we had a hand in building this place. And thank you. And, you know, the thing that I really want people to leave with, because, you know, there's people that are going to be curious about this film and see it, and there's some teachable moments. The one teachable moment that I personally, I guess, would like to stress is that, you know, we're in a place right now where there's a lot of people that have power to green light projects. And oftentimes, you know, as Americans, we're always in fight or flight mode. And 9 times out of 10, when something gets greenlit, it's because, like, it's monetarily, you know, to their advantage to do so, and they often pass on things that are outside the box, or, you know, that's not deemed a moneymaker. And I hope that this moment shows that stories like these do matter, and that, you know, instead of us living in our comfort zone, like right now we're in a time where people are always rebooting things and rebooting ideas and whatnot, that new ideas can come to fruition, and new stories. And, you know, as I said at the podium, like, we're still living in those exact times in '69 where marginalized people, I mean, be it the LGBTQIA community being asked to deny their existence, or the fact that, you know, critical race theory is now deemed a controversy in our schools, be it marginalized people, refugees from all over the world looking for a home and their dignity, people in the poverty line. So, yeah, hopefully this will be the paradigm shift and the turning point, so that these stories can be elevated.
And then 161, and we'll cut to our remote press room.
Good evening. I am Tanisha Laverne Grant with blackinamerica.com. Over here, Quest.
It's like the voice of God.
Over
How you
here.
doing?
Oh.
No, the lights are so.
The light is right
I
here.
can't. I was like, who's in there?
Congratulations to all of you gentlemen. My question is for Quest. Summer of Soul is such a magnificent documentary. Harlem has been my home for nearly 15 years. I would like to know how you came to cast Musa Jackson, who adds such a beautiful texture to this amazing documentary.
I always maintain Musa Jackson's the first person whose face you see in the beginning. And I remember when he walked in the studio, I was like, there's no way this guy remembers anything. Like, he was in his mother's womb trying to give us context. And I was borderline dismissive because, you know, I was like, he was 4 years old. Like, what's he going to remember? Like, what's he going to add to this film? And the thing is that, you know, along with Marilyn McCoo, like, and some others, like, you know, Musa is the heart of the film. And the fact that that festival was his very first memory in life, and that stayed with him. Ooh, something controversial just happened. What happened? Oh, I'm sorry. I heard mumbling like another situation just happened. No, it's just I was running for cover. Like, no, I you know, Musa is. It's so weird. That moment was so genuine. That moment was actually captured off camera, you know, where we were just casually talking to each other, and thank God we were rolling. But it goes to show you that even you know, this is our project. Like, I was ready to just throw the baby out with bathwater. Like, okay, well, he's 4 years old, so he has nothing to say. And see how easily dismissive that could have been? And he's the heart of the film. So I'm very happy for Musa and for the entire community of Harlem to finally, you know, the fact that they're seen now and they're in the canon, that's so important. Thank you.
Thank you. From our remote press room, we have a question from UK Press Association, and there will be a slight delay.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
UK Press Association? All right, let's move on to Essence.
Hi, it's Rebay Ruff with Essence. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on your big win. I know that you mentioned that there was a lot of parallels between the time when the Summer of Soul occurred and 2020 current day to day. If you were to have a similar lineup, something like that now, that would kind of speak to the experiences that we're going through now, and you know, just have artists that could like provide some healing the way they were trying to do at that time. What do you think would be a good lineup, and where would a concert like this take place?
So you're basically setting me up for a great alley-oop dunk right now. I could just say you can go right to the Roots picnic and see this 2-day lineup. You know, when the Roots were living in London, there were a lot of lessons that we moved to London because that was a city that really embraced musicianship at a time in 1993 in which that wasn't happening in the States. And, you know, in 1993, all we knew was like Lollapalooza and maybe Farm Aid. And, you know, when we went there and did all these festivals, we were like, yo, we have to take the festival back to the States. We got to learn everything that we learned here in these 4 years of living in London. We got to bring back home. And, you know, this is I believe our 13th or 14th year of doing the Roots picnic. So, you know, and that's another thing. Oftentimes I think artists feel like there has to be some like heavy political agenda to be a role model or to be politically involved. But, you know, half the time it's just being there for people, you know? And that to me is what festivals are about. Like, festivals are healing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we have our last question from the Philadelphia Tribune.
Yes.
Hi, Questlove, Katia Woods for the Philadelphia Tribune. West Philly, stand up all day.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Saying our city is going through, you know, a lot of things. And what do you want to say to the young kids, especially in West Philly, that are dreaming, that are wanting to do something bigger than what they're seeing, what they're being told that they can do?
You know, I think the lesson I learned in the last 2 years, especially when you are young and black, is that oftentimes, you know, my elders, and I mean elders like teachers and occasional uncles and people on the block, they never taught us how to dream. They never taught us how to dream. Oh my God, what am I missing right now? Of course he did.
West Philly.
West Philly in the house. Anyway, we weren't taught to dream. that much. We were taught to survive and hustle and survive. And, you know, I encourage any young person nowadays that the key to life and thriving is dreaming. I trust me, I encourage it heavily. Dreaming is everything. And yeah, I used to think that dreams were silly. I'd watch Michael Jackson on Soul Train talk about, yeah, like daydreaming and all those things. And I used to laugh at those answers, but no, for real, like it's so important right now. And I can't stress it enough. Thank you.
I'm in a room full of journalists, so I have to say this because I would be remiss not to. Riz Ahmed earlier tonight became the 9th South Asian to ever win an Academy Award. I became the 10th. Tonight, 2 South Asians won an Academy Award. Also, this will please my mother. I'm the first Patel ever to win an Oscar. So I'm very proud of that.
Yes.
But I think it's remarkable that 2 South Asians won an Oscar tonight, and I think that's a small sign of progress. So thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.